Welcome to week number 2. Let me begin by recapping week number 1, and there are 4 items I'd like to discuss real quickly in the recap. First of all, the discussion guidelines and application. If you go to week number 1 and look under the activities, you will see a hyperlink that covers the topic I'm going to discuss. The expectations were that you would read the guidelines and understand fully your obligations for posting to the discussion board. And that hyperlink basically says you will be responsible for 3 discussion posts per question per week. And it's broken out like this. On Wednesday, midnight, you are due an initial post. Now, your initial post should demonstrate some command for the topic you are posting about. This past week, we talked about the external environment, and I made the basic proposition that, in my mind, is one of the most important things you can learn in this class. So, in posting about that topic, the expectation is you will either reference the text or some out-of-text citation to provide supporting evidence for your claim. But to suggest that the external environment is important because it can have an effect on business, that does not give you maximum points for your initial post. So to be very clear, your initial post should demonstrate some command or scholarship on the topic you're posting of. I am not interested in your opinion without any supporting evidence to back that up. Now, you have 2 follow-up posts that are due for that discussion question. In this example, we're talking about the external business environment. And those 2 follow-up posts are due by Saturday, midnight. And these 2 follow-up posts could be to myself or to your classmates. Now, your follow-up posts need to be a little bit more than, I agree with Jim that the external environment is important. In your follow-up, you should add additional information to provide understanding on that topic. You can provide a follow-up on your initial post. It doesn't have to necessarily be to your classmate. So for instance, if for some reason someone has not added a post, you can go ahead and enter a second post on as a follow-up on by Saturday midnight. So for each discussion question, you will have 3 posts, an initial post on Wednesday and 2 follow-up by Saturday to receive maximum credit in the gradebook. And for the discussion board, as you have seen this past week, Sunday is the day that I update this discussion board. The second thing is the learning teams. The learning team charter, and again, you go to the weekly assignment page, there's a document called the charter. All learning team submissions should be on the charter. It is not acceptable to send a Word document with similar information on it. You will download the charter in Learning Team 1A, put the team members' names on it, and then post it. For 1B, and the instructions are on a hyperlink in the weekly assignments, 1B, you will include the ground rules and conflict management. And I provide a rubric on what the ground rules and conflict management should look like in order to receive maximum credit. And that is going to be due at the end of week 2. If you have not joined a learning team, after the end of week 2, you will get an email from me suggesting that you may have academic issues in the class because on week 3, the first case study for the team will be due. And without being on the team, you will not only lose the charter credit, but also credit for the first case study. The third thing we review is to connect. I'm very pleased to announce that most of you are registered for Connect. And I would just want to clarify that on the scavenger hunt, there was a question about when the first exam is due. And many of you caught it that the first exam is due at the end of week 3, which will be September 11th through the 12th. And that will cover chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. Also on the 12th of December, the Connect Learn Smart assignments will sync to the gradebook. So at the end of exam number 1, we will cover the first 4 chapters, and that module will sync to the gradebook on 9/12. The last thing I want to report from this past week are the assignments. Many of you have written and asked, well, what do the assignments do? Well, I would just direct you to the assignment page. Everything is due for the week is on the weekly assignment page. And a due date in this class is Saturday midnight. So, for instance, if something is due the end of week 2, that's Saturday at midnight. The end of week 3, that's Saturday at midnight. Okay? Now, previewing this coming week, too, I want to talk about the learning team organization, because the quicker you can get organized, the more you'll be able to get involved with the case study that's going to be due at the end of week 3. And you will be getting information about that probably about midweek in your learning teams. The other thing I want to just remind you of again at the end of, as we go forward, with either the Connect, if you registered as a guest, you have I think it's a 7 to 10 day window as a guest, and after that, all the work that you've done, if you do not purchase the codes, will be lost, and you'll have to start over there again. So I just wanted to reemphasize that we're into week 2. Many of you have gotten off to a good start, but I encourage the rest of you, it's early, so I would not stress too much about the points that you did not receive, as long as you focus and work on this coming week, week number 2. And then finally, I'm going to say contacting me. Many of you, again, are doing a pretty good job. But remember, when you send me an email, it should be to my student address, and you should indicate your full name, the section that you're in, Business 100, 100 section, which meets at a particular time, and then state your question. I can respond to you much quicker that way rather than giving me your name and your issue, and then I have to search for that. So, that being said, I wish you a good week coming up, and I look forward to meeting many of you through the Zoom call or speaking with you via email.